Yeah, my left knee's kind of swollen. It's a little swollen today. This pillow prop up. Alright. You heard me on the phone yesterday talking to somebody about the Jesse Ventura case. And I spent all this week defending Jesse Ventura on Facebook. First, I'd like to say this whole thing has been blown out of proportion. I mean, totally out of proportion. Most of the people, it's pretty safe to say that they haven't done their research on this case, done their homework on this case. They're just going by what the media tells them. And, of course, the media is biased. It's mostly propaganda and lies. And you've heard me say for years, I know you've heard me say it 1,000 times, that I haven't watched the news, read a newspaper in 15 years, and I haven't, because of that very reason. But, you know, most Americans are like brain dead zombies. They sit in front of the television and believe whatever they tell them. Alright, this week, Jesse Ventura won a $1.8 million case from the estate of this dude named Chris Kyle. This Chris Kyle dude was supposedly a war hero, this super sniper. I don't know. I never met the man. I didn't fight with him overseas. I'm just going by what they're saying. And I have followed Jesse Ventura for many years. Jesse Ventura is a veteran himself, a Navy SEAL. He went to work for Vince McMahon, and he was in the wrestling entertainment business. And he was a good, he was a good worker, man. He had a good voice. He's a big guy, strong guy. Then later he got involved in politics. He was the governor of Minnesota. And now Jesse Ventura is mostly, what he is now is just a whistleblower. He calls out the internationalists, the puppet masters, on their evil and crooked and wicked ways. He's a public figure. He has his own show, Conspiracy Theory, It's pretty good. Jesse Ventura I do know this about him. He's not a punk. He doesn't lay down and let people walk all over him. He's not a pushover. The old saying, he's not a ass licker, he's an ass kicker. So, with that being said, it goes like this. Back in 2006, this Chris Kyle dude had claimed that he saw Jesse Ventura in a bar, and he heard Jesse Ventura talking bad about the Navy SEALs, and said that it serves them right, that some of them should have died or something like that. And that's just silly. Because Jesse Ventura is a veteran. He was a SEAL. He supports the troops. He takes pictures with them. He he sees them out in public in airports. He shakes their hand, tells them, "Great job. I appreciate what you're doing." Jesse Ventura's never had beef with the troops. He has, however, had beef and problems with politicians, the crooked politicians and the international bankers. See, troops, soldiers don't start wars. They don't pick fights. The politicians, who are mainly puppets, they do. Jesse Ventura is against illegal wars, unconstitutional wars, not troops. So anyway, this Chris Kyle dude, this super sniper, claims that he heard Jesse Ventura talking all this, this smack in this bar, and he went over there and punched him and took off running and knocked him out. And he written a book and he put it in his book. Well, Jesse Ventura said that was a lie. He said he had never met Mr. Kyle. He said he wasn't in a bar. He said, Jesse Ventura, I ain't drinking 20 years. I don't drink, so I wasn't in a bar. I never met him. I never talked bad about SEALs or troops. And he said, so it was a lie. And this Chris Kyle dude said, it was the truth. And this wasn't the first attack of Jesse Ventura, his credibility. And one or two things either happen here. All right? Either this Chris Kyle cat just was a liar, just flat out lied to make his book sound better and to sell better, or Chris Kyle was a puppet himself. And I'm leaning toward the second one. This Chris Kyle, mysteriously, unexpectedly got shot at a shooting range in 2013. Is it possible? Yeah. Do I think it? No. See, puppets, Aaron, puppets usually end up in one or two places. Dead or in jail to silence them. I can give you several examples throughout history of people that they used and then they silenced. James Earl, Lee Harvey Oswald, Martin Luther King, John F. Kennedy, Bobby Kennedy. These are men that ended up, dead, murdered. So, anyway, Chris Kyle's dead, all right? He's not here to defend himself. But while he was alive, he claimed this stuff. Jesse Ventura said it never happened. Now, if somebody were to accuse you of robbing a bank or something bad, you would want to defend yourself, correct? Anybody would. It's human nature. Jesse Ventura took this lawsuit while this dude was still alive. These people on Facebook are sitting there saying, oh, he sued the widow. No, he didn't. The guy was still alive when he did it. It just now, the case is closed. And the jury found that there was no evidence to support Chris Kyle's claim of beating up Jesse Ventura. Like Jesse Ventura said, nobody won here. He said, there's no real winner. Jesse Ventura didn't sue because he needed money. He's a wealthy man. He didn't need this $1.8 million. And it didn't come from the widow's estate. It come from an insurance policy. So she lost no money. And Jesse Ventura cleared his name. And that's what happened. And he didn't need their money. He didn't do it. He did it to defend himself. There was slander. And Jesse Ventura said, look, I'm not going to be accused of anything I didn't do. He said, I never met this guy. I never fought with him in a bar. And, like Jesse Ventura said, if anything, Chris Kyle is sitting there was telling people he was guilty of assault, hitting and running. If he was this big macho, hero, why would he hit this old man who's Jesse Ventura and take off running? I don't believe it. It didn't happen. And this woman, they're painting her out to be this pitiful widow, and she did. She lost her husband. That's sad. I hate that. But she didn't lose any money. It was an insurance policy. And Jesse Ventura did it. He didn't care if he got any money. He wanted to clear his name. And that's what he did. So, From what research and investigation I've done, I think this Chris Kyle was a victim himself, and he was made to say these things, and and are paid or whatever, and then he ends up, dead, mysteriously dead, which is tragic, and but that's the case. That's how it happened, and that's what went down, and so what they're trying to slam Jesse Ventura, and they shouldn't. He was a victim too, and Jesse Ventura said there was no real winner in this case. Jesse Ventura knows without a shadow of a doubt that Chris Kyle probably was a puppet in all this, and that's probably, I'm not a betting man, but if I was, I'd say that's what happened. That's it.